God damn, man, it's harder than a motherfucker out here, man.
I know.
Think I'm joking, I use it to masturbate. But when I have a party, I spike the drinks. Memo sauce is the greatest thing since the Cuban link.
Chuck Billy, everybody. It's supposed to be Chuck Billy. It's a good impression, though. Chuck Billy. It's pretty good and pretty damn good Chuck Billy impression. This is Jason Sukoff, a producer that's pretty well known in the metal world. His own old school project called Crotch Duster. This is the best part right here, though. Still makes me laugh like 20 plus years after it's been the first time I heard it. It still makes me fucking laugh every single solitary time. My mammal sauce is the best mammal sauce. Best mammal sauce on my way. Bill William. What's going on, everybody? Yeah! It's time to get I'm not gonna do it. It's time to get savage, bro. We're gonna get... Man, if there's ever a word that got beaten into the dust by everyone, it was savage. It got to be where, like, calling something savage, like, it was savage. Like, when something had happened, like, you'd see, like a sick burn, really sick burn, and be like, bro, it's fucking savage. And then it became to, like, you'd see, like, I think where everything goes to die is in the elementary schools. And I work in an elementary school, and when you see kids, or rather hear kids, you know, flipping a bottle and landing it and then being like, that was savage, let's go. And you're like, holy fuck, those words have gone to die. They're gone. They're roasted. They're toasted. Auto-tune is funny, man. Auto-tune is always funny. What are we doing today? We're hanging out. We're checking out the Engls Savage. And I am testing out a guitar. I decided to take... I did not stream yesterday. For that, I'm sorry. I did sort of a mental upkeep day. We have a sick cat around here, and I just wanted to kind of hang out with him for the day. And while I did that, I gave this guitar a ton of TLC. Last time we were on the air here, I kind of looked and saw some of the grime going on the frets, and I'm like, whoa. Whoa. Okay, so I also tuned it to B from E flat. I gauged up and did a little bit of nut filing and everything else, and it seems like all things are kind of perfect right now. Let's see what's happening here. All right, cool. We're not too far out of tune, but we're going to tune. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing really well. My name is Tyler, and welcome to the Amp Sim universe. The only, as far as I know, I mean, there just really aren't a lot of, there's not even a lot of channels out there that are just solely dedicated to only guitar and bass software. There are a few for sure, but they're, you know, they're kind of all over the place as well. Like doing little bits of everything and analog gear and everything else. We're also doing live demos in live streams and stuff like that too. So it's like live demos, live reviews, live everything. And we're also be doing pre-recorded stuff eventually. That stuff's gonna start to launch on my break here. I'm finally pretty happy with what I've got going on for like a little format. Not going to feel too much different than this, although a lot less blabbering on my behalf. Okay, so if you're in the chat, say what's up. How are you? Saying what's going on. Hi, my name is Tyler. Your name is Pedro. Pedro's in here. I know that. Thanks so much for being here, Pedro. I really appreciate you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say one thing about the Savage, though. And a lot of Engl amps, in fact. Most Engl amps are not for the faint of heart. If you're not a knob turner and you don't like the switches and the knobs and the fucking switches and knobs. If you're not a fan of the switches and knobs and you're more of a 5150 kind of guy or a JCM 800 kind of guy where you'd like to just kind of walk up, look at the amp really hard and it'll sound good. Oh my gosh, the options, it's not quite options paralysis here, but there's a lot going on, and admittedly, the Savage takes a little bit to get around on. Okay, now I'm going to make it as big as I can here for you guys, but I'm going to let you guys know ahead of time that sometimes there's a bit of a delay in getting the UI open and closed and stuff, so I'm probably not going to go trying to do too much. I'm not saying it's like there's any problem with the UI, but you'll notice it if you've been using Amp pardon me, if you've been little burpski there, if you've been using Amp Room for a while, you'll notice that there have been issues. There was issues in the past where I know for a fact that they had some. There was a big, let's be honest. If you've been using this platform for a while, you know there was a bug in the platform for a while. A good bug and a big error, and people were pretty frustrated about it, but they fixed it. So if you're one of those people that's just like, gosh, I had some issues, you'll be fine. You're gonna be all right. The UI is gorgeous. It can be a little, you'll see. Everybody's got their kind of difference in opinion. Everyone's got their loves and hates when it comes to a Mega Suite UI. Okay, and when I say Mega Suite, I mean like your Amplitude or your Guitar Rig or your Helix Native, your gigantic collection of gear, where it's like there's a ton inside the one box. That is what we call a Mega Suite or a full suite here. And again, absolutely feel free to say hello. Feel free to jump into the comments and give me a little tip of the cap. Let me know you're here. All right. So basically what I'm going to be doing today is just taking you guys, this is my first impression. I have tried several other Engl Savage plugins, and if you're not familiar, there is one from Brainworks and / Plugin Alliance that was designed by and built by Igor Nembrini, coded by, and it seems to me that this is licensed. That means it seems like in this new year, 2024, it sort of seems like Softube's got themselves a new little addition to the family as far as licensing goes. As far as, if you guys don't know, they've held the Marshall licensing for some time and likely will for a while yet. They're very fond of having the full Marshall licensing, and they've got some really good products that are fully licensed and sound good. Now, let's get to the bottom of one myth. Fully licensed does not mean it's good. I hear that so friggin' often that I used to hear that back in the day when you're comparing two plugins and there's obviously a new user on one end or at least maybe even both ends of this conversation. And how often have you seen it or have you heard it said, oh, but the one is licensed, so it's obviously better. That does not mean what that means. That means that somebody paid that company more money for the chance to do theirs, put their actual logos on their software. That's all it really is. However, There are right ways and wrong ways to do fully licensed software, and Softube has always done it the right way. Neural DSP does it the right way. And STL Tones have done it the right way. Very small amount of licensed over there, but what licensed stuff they have done has been terrific, okay? There's a way to do it. You gotta have to, if you are taking a license, if you're paying for a company for a license and you're gonna go and half-ass a plugin, for starters, it shouldn't get approved. The company shouldn't approve it all. They should have final approval in what actually sounds good. They should have somebody on staff that tells them that this is good or a bad plugin, if just in case there's no actual plugin users on the staff, and that is possible, right? Okay, so let's get into this. This is fantastic. If they do have indeed the license on the Engl products now, gosh, Softube, if you're listening, give me an invader, please. Give me an invader. I've been so patient. A lot of Engl amp sims out there. Lots of Engl amp sims, lots of different ones, lots of E530s, lots of power balls. Yeah, a lot of balls out there, but not a ton. There's a couple of savages, but there's not there. I don't believe at this point there's an invader. How's it going, Bo? How are you? All right, so I'm just going to tune up here as we are getting ready and talking things up to start. We'd like to chit chat on this program. And that is part of what we do here. Kind of trying to provide a bit of a podcast feel while also being kind of like a demo feel at the same time. If you guys have any requests as to things you'd like to see inside Amp Room, or things you'd like me to try, or settings you want me to try, or anything that I don't go through that you guys would like to see, please just boom in that comments. Be like, dude, can you try it like this? Always feel free to interact with me and tell me what you'd like to see, because, pardon me, that's what I'm here for. That is what we are here for, okay? All right, so let's see what we got here. I'm gonna bring down my music a little tiny bit more. Not that I'm not perfectly enjoying it. Pretty easy going so far, not a lot going on. There is a tube screamer. But here's one thing about Engl amps. If you set them up right, they're essentially designed so that you don't have to do a lot of boosting. Anybody that's used a lot of Engl or a lot of Engl plugins that are accurate and realistic, you'll realize that they can be set in such a way where they're designed to be so tight that it's just impossible. You know, that if you're gonna boost them, you're going to be like, maybe come back off those 0, 10, 10 settings that we all like and kind of like so much. Bring that back a little bit, especially watch that tone control, because you may make a bit of a mess, especially if you're out there trying to quad track. We are going to get started. We've got, we've got so many controls to work with on this amp. And at some point, it's very likely that I'm going to do something that confuses somebody, and why is he doing that, or why is he doing this? Let me know if I'm going somewhere wrong with this amp, folks. Alrighty. So we are on. Yeah, it looks like we are on. It's going. Nice. I'm trying to make sure that I'm fully in tune here. Brand new set of strings. Thanks so much to Sit Strings, as always. Now, for cabs, I'm just going to stick with one side or the other. This is a couple of new, I think these are also new additions to the cab library here. There's 3, I see 4 Engl cabs. I see an Engl 212 VHB. I see an Engl 412 to 412 RG Retro Tube. I see the standard cab, the Pro cab, and the big boy, big old XL. And this is one of my favorite cabs all timesies, is the XXL, the big boy. This thing is, if you've ever heard one of these in person, which I have had the pleasure of doing, oh my God, it hits you right here. Oh, it's right in the chest. So it's pretty masterful. All right, cool. That's true. If you're dialing in a tone you're digging, just do it for you. Do it for you, boss. And we're going to go through. This clearly has a clean channel. It clearly has a crunch channel. It has crunch 2. And also lead. I am trying to figure out where I'm at. Am I on lead? Yes, I am on, in fact, lead. Yes. Okay, so I want my master to come back. It's nice that they light up the shit you're using. Cool, that sounds pretty good already. And this guitar, by the way, I call it the average ass Jackson. I don't know exactly what line it is. It's made in Indonesia. I've never really been a big Jackson guy, although I absolutely think that this headstock particularly is one of the best headstocks ever created. Whether it's down or reversed, it is sweet. Awfully tough on that nut on that last thing here, though. Like there's a lot of tension going through here, but it's a sweet, sweet headstock. I love this guitar. It now, after a lot of work, because of extraordinarily poor QC at Jackson, this guitar finally plays nice. And it's got a set of Z Labs, Z-E-A-D, Z Labs. Z Labs pickups in it, and wow, gosh dang, huge, massive set. And I have honestly never tried them in B. So I'm getting to enjoy it so far. I may be tinkering with the heights at some point during this, so I do apologize. All right, that's getting a bit better. I think we can do more there, though. So I am going to go just hard one side for the cab. And I am... Okay, I'm liking... I don't know about the selection right now. I'm just going to go with a 57. And can't remember now how they do the... Dang it, how do they do the... I have to look at the controls a little bit harder here. Where's my angle? In any event. Oh, that's not good either. Let's bring that back. Oh, okay, here we go. Just pull it away. I see. What's gaining me there? Okay, now I can blend this other one in. It's a bit darker. All right. Where's that gate coming from? This is clamping down kind of hard today. Cool. Cool. Hopefully you guys are good. I'm just hanging out today. I'm just enjoying the fact that I get to hang out and try out something new. Thanks so much to Stefan over at Softube. Always been a big fan. I've always been a big fan of Softube's work. Their attention to their bass and guitar software as of late, though, has been much better. If you're an old school user like myself, you'll remember the days of their guitar and bass software being kind of weird. All things being completely honest, it was their bass softwares. They were kind of weird. It sounded all right. It sounded good, but then it got just kind of a little bit long in the tooth, and they just didn't update much of anything, and they sort of just fell by the wayside. And then now it's a bit of a different story out there, isn't it? Yes. So I'm going to make sure that this is sounding good. Sounds okay so far. So far, so good. Now the question is, I mean, if Manuel was in this stream, he'd be yelling at me already for not scooping this out a little bit more, but let's see what we got. All right, we gotta get a boost on this now. This is one boost in the box here. In the box, we're gonna set it up. That's pretty good. Sounds pretty good. I'm obviously not done setting this thing up. Not even close. just hanging out today. Had an opportunity to do something new, and that's the thing. There really hasn't been a lot of new stuff. Every time a new product comes out, guys, every single time a new product comes out and I can get a hold of it, even if it's just a 14-day free trial, I am going to be all over it. I'm going to be doing probably somewhere to close to 120 minutes with that new product, just because why not? And it's fun. It's good content. It's good times. And then I can get used to the product for the pre-recorded review. And those are going to be, like I said, 10 to 20 minutes as opposed to 2 hours. So we take our time here. I'm really trying... Wait a second. I didn't think it was this one. I was like, why is this one? This one didn't feel like it was doing a whole lot for me there for that moment. All right, see. What kind of power tubes are in the Savage? I'm curious. I don't know off the top of my head. It's 6L6? So this is a blend of these two different cabs. I believe I'm blending the Pro and the Oversize. And we're just going to be kind of just checking things out today, guys. I mean, if I don't get the best of tones today, if you feel like you can do better, I agree with you. I would agree. If you don't like the tones that somebody is dialing in with a plugin, always go out and get your own, get it yourself, and do it, because like I said, my idea of a good time and a good tone is not going to be yours necessarily, but you know, I might get to something close that you like, and then you're going to be like, okay, if he got this, I can do that. You know, 100% go out and try anything that's got a free trial if you're curious, and there is a free trial on, I think, the majority of the Amp Room products. This actually sounds quite a bit different than the other Savages I've tried. I don't know if that makes it good or bad in a sense. But we're going to check it out nonetheless. Ooh, that sounds better. Now, Bo, is the difference between the 60 watt and the 120 just really, does it just come down to wattage? Like, is that it? Does it just come down to power? Or is there something else about this that we need to know? Because I'm going to set this one up. This was also in the in this package. This is the 60 watt version with the white Tolex. I need a pop filter. Pardon me. Gosh. Okay, we're not going to get too crazy with this. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that sounds great already. I think I know what I did wrong with the other one. I think I know exactly what I did wrong. Yeah, the standalone Marshall, all the standalone Marshalls, as you can see below here. I'll get to the screen because it's pretty fucking small. You don't need to see my ugly face anyway. This is what it looks like. And then, as you know, down here, I've got the full complement. I think at this point, it's very, very simplistic signal chain. So it's pretty easy going. We've got the cabs, we've got the head, and we've got a Johnny Screamer here. No idea, average ass green Screamer, gonna set to pretty pedestrian settings. I'm not gonna get too crazy because this is an Engl, and you can make a bit of a mess if you get too crazy with a tube screamer. So I'm just gonna kind of stay chill. Why do I like the 60 watt better? Why? What is the purpose of this? Let's go over to the crunch channel just for a bit. I want to see what's happening over here. Guys, I'm having a good time so far. If you've not checked out Amp Room, they've done a lot with Amp Room. All right, let's so essentially the way it's been explained to me, for North American people, You might not, Engl might be that kind of that brand you've heard a lot about, but you just haven't used it a ton or had hands on or even seen them really all that often, because in North America, they're a bit more expensive and they're less common. So thing is, over in Europe, however, good old Europe, where they're made in Germany, I do believe, essentially in Europe and then in overseas, Engl lamps are much easier to get, much more affordable, and are kind of more along the lines of the European, as it's been explained to me, kind of like the European PV or maybe the European Mesa Boogie, in a sense that like it's way more of a popular amp with way more European artists than you would see, North American artists using Engl. Obviously, there are North American endorsements for Engl artists, but I'm just saying that for me, the way it's been explained to me by some European friends of mine, that's kind of how this shakes out. Yeah, absolutely. If you have 3 of those, you should definitely use Amp Room, because you can, it separates them up, pulls them all apart, where you can exchange the amps in the cab sections and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I like using the Kerry King cabinet section for a bunch of different things. It sounds good. We're going to try it with the Engl amp here later on. Give it a go and see how that goes. Maybe. See how that goes. I don't want to get too crazy here. Nice. Okay, so they're basically the same amp, but this one, for whatever reason, I'm enjoying more. Cool. Hello, Crunch Channel. That sounds lovely, doesn't it? That is quite the effect there. It gets very dark, smooth and rough. To me, this is going to come down to Engl Savage fans, whether you guys think this is authentic or not. For me, so far, from the research I've done, I mean, I can say that I enjoy it. I can't say how authentic this is, but the team and I are going to kind of go to work on this a little bit and see how we feel about the free trial and, what this brings to the table for authenticity. So in the review, we can talk about this a little bit more. Yeah. I agree with you. 80s kid, what's going on? How are you? I hope you are well. Oh, input low and high. Let's see. Right? Is that what that says? Is that... I can't see it. What's going on? That's the trouble with UIs. Like it's obviously quite small print, and yet that's on when it's on a big ass amp, right? So it's tough to put that all in there and make it look nice without like bolding out all the words, right? I think the kind of feels like those are just for the clean and crunch one. All right, let's go back over to the lead channel. I kind of want to chill on this channel as well a little bit more to see what we've got. I don't want to dime this lead volume here. Woo! Could probably just absolutely scorched you guys there. Sorry. My apologies. I'm sorry. Okay. Woo, that was a bad pick rake. I missed her. I doggone missed her. Got you. I got you. Man, 80s kid's on fire. 80s kid knows their stuff. His or her things. Absolutely awesome. I can't be like first for me, I can't quite tell. I remember the Savage being a little bit let's call it even a little bit more gainy and saturated. Hopefully. And if you're out there and you want to say hello, we're always here. We're just here chilling out today. I'm gonna shout out Softube a couple of times. Thanks so much for being firm supporters of what we've been doing over the years. We care about you too. Let's see if we get a little more gainy here. All right, let's see what we got. Wait, so much low end with these pickups, so I got to adjust that later. That sounds really good to me. Once again, I mean, there's nothing that's one thing about Softube is they are not a company that cuts corners. They are not a company that rounds out the edges just to get something more, say convenient, or, something that is taking that approach that, oh geez, like 85% of the people that buy this won't necessarily know if it's bang on or not. And if you think, well, geez, gosh, there's no developer out there that would take that kind of approach, you'd be incorrect. Softube, not one of those developers. They go at it straight ahead. And if it's something that if they're trying to show you that, like, okay, we've licensed something, we're going at this one particular piece of gear, they're gonna nail it. That's just the way it's been from day one. If they're going after a particular piece of gear and another company's name is at stake here other than their own, they're gonna nail it. And when it's just their company name, there's no licensing on the line, they still nail it. All of their studio tools, everything those guys do is bang on. So anytime you see a sale or anytime there's something in their lineup that you're like, ooh, that looks interesting, demo it. Get that free trial. You need iLock, not a big deal. Don't cry about it. It's just iLock. It's not gonna take over your machine or anything. All right, let's try a different cabinet. Let's lean over here a little more and see what happens. Ooh la la. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna do this on this one for now, and then we're gonna go over here. And we're gonna pull it right about there somewhere just for fun, some fun. Yes. Now the low end on these pickups, I know this to be like the fault of the pickups, not the amp on this one. So I'm gonna have to dial it back a little bit until I get the heights right on these. Nice. Nice. Sounds great. And it feels good too. I get the feeling that like sometimes those really big cabinets, those really giant cabinets, those big beefy metal XL, XXL cabinets and such, sometimes the effect of those cabinets in an impulse response is just different than it would be in real life. And it's different. I'm not sure how better to explain it other than it's just going to give you a different feel when it's not at like full stage volume. You know, like you hear those cabinets at full stage volume and they're in a room or whatever else, or you see them, you know, on a stage in general. And then you're thinking, well, those probably, you know, the impulse response packs are going to sound huge. It doesn't always turn out that way. It's weird. There are some cabinets out there, like one cabinet I've heard this about several times is the old Vader cabinets. I've been told several times that those old Vader cabinets, several people have done impulse responses with those cabs and said that they just didn't turn out the way that they had kind of hoped. Hopefully someday, now that Vader's back and rolling, hopefully someday somebody does an impulse response pack based on a Vader. I would love that. That would be really, really cool. I want to try it for myself. I have a friend who has two of them, and he is in the process of shooting a small pack, and I'm excited to get my hands on them and see what happens. But even then, he's only got, I think, a 57 and a 58, so... Yeah, that sounds beefy. Huge and beefy. We get a little bit more of this. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, buddy. So last year, around this time, they did a really great update for, they did a huge update for Amp Hub. There's so many amp names. Calm down. Allow me this slip of the tongue. So basically, there was a huge update last year. And then last year, they gave you they gave you this right here. This is the Vildsint. This is the old Engl. And you can hear the difference. Some of the older amps from what they basically did is they took some of the old amps from the old amp room plugins, and the coding and the modeling was still in their mind was quite sound. So they gave them kind of an overhaul and some upkeep and fired them into this new platform here. And they've come across pretty quick. But that's being said, there's a big difference between the old unlicensed Engl here, the Heart, and the brand new, shiny, amazing, the new one here. It sounds amazing. absolutely incredible. The old one, it's okay. It's okay for old standards, but keep in mind that amp came out, oh gosh, got like it's 11, 12 years ago or something, or 10 years ago. I don't know, something like that. It's a bit older. But last year they gave you this bad boy right here, the Vildsint. If you can see, I'm hovering it over it right now. This thing is, oh gosh, this thing is an absolute beast. We'll go over this at some point before the end of the stream, but that's not really the point of this stream. This thing though, for metal players, I'll show it to you. It's gonna bounce my settings though. I know it's just gonna bounce my settings. I'm like actually kind of liking it right now. So we'll go over it after. I don't know if it's gonna, but I'm kind of liking the way it's set up right now. So I just kind of want to keep jamming on it a little bit. As they're like I said, it is a set it and forget it kind of amp. It's just gonna take you a little while to figure out how you want to set it. There's a lot of tonal control options that give basically the user and the player. It gives you all the control in the world, how much punch you want, how much low end you need, and everything else, and how much you want the top end to cut, and everything. And it's a gain monster. But it's also, the thing is, it might be silly to name it the Savage, because there's this underlying use to this amp that isn't metal at all. Sure, the Crunch 2's quite nice. The lead gain is really, really nice. The lead channel is quite nice, and the Crunch 2 channel quite nice. But the clean channel and the Crunch 1 is better in this guitar than you might think. So let's head over there. And we're going to head over to the clean channel, and we're just going to see what it's got for us. Going to turn off our tube screamer for a minute. All right, I thought I hit that. There we go. We're gonna do a little bit of clean action here and see what's going on. These pickups are pretty good for clean. So let's see what I can get going on here first. And sounds pretty good so far. I'm going to bring that back, and I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to bring this back a little bit, and this up a bunch. Little out of tune, forgive me. Tiny bit out of tune, tiny bit. Okay, I'm gonna roll it up to about here. Sounds pretty good. I've said that several times. This sounds great. It's a lot of fun to use. And what's the introductory price on this? It's like $69.99 or something like that. Like, if that's it, holy smokes, go and get it right now. Go and get it ASAP. You're going to enjoy it. I guarantee it. You're going to like it. As I dial this in, this guitar is responding really well to B. It's a little bit, the low end is there, a little bit too beefy, but that's just kind of these pickups in a nutshell. Oh gosh, I didn't realize I had some volume on my monitoring device. I feel like I'm trying out for a high school talent show with that riff for some reason. All right, that's pretty good too. You see what I mean, right? So calling it the Savage is like, I mean, it's got a tender side, bro. It's got a tender side, Engl. How dare you go and label this such an angry man all the time? It's not angry all the time. You don't have to make it angry all the time. It's fun when it's angry, though, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty fun. I'm not going to tell it not to be angry. But, I mean, I just don't want you guys to think that this is another one of those high-gain amps that's got that gratuitous clean section that is sort of just there. You know what I mean? You guys and everyone that's been in the amp sim world for a while now, that's anybody that's been using amp sims or even regular high-gain amps, analog amps, over the last 5 to 10 years, you guys will be quite familiar with the old throw-in clean section. You know what I mean? That thrown-in clean channel that's just sort of there. It's not great. It's not horrible. But they know 90% of the people that are going to buy that amp are going to buy it for the fucking juggity jug. And if they do need a clean tone, it's sparingly, and that will, as they say, that'll do, right? So, throw some delay and verb on it. It gets them by for what they need in like a live setting, so nobody really complains about the lead section, or sorry, the clean section of those amps, because the high gain section is so fucking crushing. Now, I believe where it came along was the 5153 came along and sort of set things in a bit of a direction. They added that Fender-made clean section where, and I'm not saying that, that was groundbreaking or the first company ever to put a good clean section in a high gain amp. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like traditionally it isn't that common. So I think when the EVH 5153 got out there, and I think when that amp became such a big deal everywhere with metal players all over the world, I think that amp kind of forced other manufacturers to start improving those thrown-in clean sections. Do they still exist? Yes, but not in this case. The Engl Savage has always had a really nice clean section. In fact, I'd be willing to go to bat and go to the wall for Engl and saying that they don't really have a bad clean section. They've never really just thrown one in. It's never been an afterthought clean section. Engl has always done what they can to make sure their amps, if they have a clean section, are equipped. If you're going to do it right? I mean, but they're, like I said, I would like to see some sort of little chart, a survey done of Engl Savage users, like how many of them actually use the clean that often. But in Engl's way of looking at things, is just because you don't have to use it that often doesn't mean it needs to suck, right? We want those nice, calm, and tender moments for you to be nice, right? So, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. The UI is not the most important thing. And I also would say, though, if I'm going to play devil's advocate, if we're going to have another piece of discussion here, I also think that over the looks of the UI, being nice to look at and being resizable in vector form, that's all really nice. I love it. And that being said, I don't care how much work and money you've put into those amps or how good the components look or how nice it resizes in vector. If you haven't done like, geez, what am I looking at this now? If it's not smooth to operate, yes, that's what I'm looking for. If the ease of use is not there, then it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't matter. You might as well, the graphics don't mean anything. If the flow isn't there in a mega suite or any suite really, but when it comes to like a 2 or 3 amp suite, you can get away with a little bit of a sloppy UI. But when it comes to like 100 components under the roof, when you have any more than 50 even, that is a lot to organize for the user for easy access and easy use. They've done a pretty good job here by giving you pedals. You guys see this? They gave me pedals and I can use my mouse wheel and scroll over. They have all kinds of new pedals, although I don't see the new ones. Where are they? Here they are. Are these them? Yes. You have this right here, the sleeper boost. I don't know anything about this. We're going to use this instead. I'm going to turn boink. Oh, that's off already. So I'm going to turn that off after, and we're going to use this new sleeper boost. Sleeper. They have a lot of their own little creations, which guys, I fucking love it. I absolutely love that they do that. They have their own little creation pedals and stuff where their main guy over there, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Kim. And he's a genius. It's just like he is another one of the world's best at this sort of stuff. They have amazing product designers over at Softube, and they know their stuff. So when they go after adding their own internal components, they do it in a way that they do it in their own way. They put together their own pedals because they're guitarists. They are actually guitar players over there and they test these things out and they make sure that they sound great. So cheers to Softube for always coming up with their own innovative new little pedals and things to throw in here. You've got a Rat, you've got an Ottawa chorus, you've got your right here, you've got your average. Well, this one's also called the Clean 22. Not the Forte Boost 22 from Wavemind, but the Clean 22 booster from Softube. Either way, it's the Fortin 33, guys. It's just so you know. Nice. And what does it sound like? What is it based on? Give me some, stoke it up for me here, Bo. Guys, I'm absolutely, I don't know, somewhere there was a conspiracy where they're not carbonating the Coke the way they used to. So now this can is still cold. Like the liquid in this can is still cold. Pretty like nicely cold. And yet this is almost flat. And you guys were here when I opened it. You guys were literally sitting here when I opened this thing like an hour ago. Not even an hour ago, and this thing is almost flat. Give me the carbonation that I crave. I'm not going to finish a can of pop in 45 seconds. Come on. That's just astonishing. Although, guys, I've come around on Coca-Cola spiced. If you want, if you guys have it in your part of the world and you're curious, let me know and I'll give you a nice little review, as I am a Coca-Cola product connoisseur. And I do try all of them. What's going on, Corey Millen? Nice to see you. And you got Corey, you're gonna be getting something in your account. I believe today I did all of my all of the prize send outs today. We're going to be announcing some winners, and rather excited about it. Remember, we kind of have to operate on what time we've been allotted, and with other developers what time they have available as well, and available to get back to us and putting everything together. The first one thing I will tell you is the first giveaway was a little confusing, but we learned from our mistakes. And we will do things a little bit different next time. That's all I can tell you. So yeah, this was pretty good. We're going to go over to the... there's a lot of like vocal madness going on in the background that I kind of got my attention there. Let's go. Crunch game. Give me some crunch game now. And even like that right there, that's great. Like you wouldn't think that this amp, like the Engls Savage, is going to do like dad rock, you know? And when I say dad rock, I mean like 70s rock, 80s rock, or just general rock tones. Man, like this thing is pretty beastly. Oh, come on. New strings, guys. They're... gosh, I got to put like a session... Good. I thought I did, though. I actually thought I put a pretty good playing session on this guitar yesterday. And if you notice behind me, you'll notice I've got another guitar on my bench. And that is my Rumblebee is getting the Evolution put back in it, as I am selling my Ryan Bruce fluff pickup for a really tasty price. So I'm going to be getting rid of some pickups. That's the next part of my day, is going through my pickup storage. And I've got a bunch. I've probably got like 8 or 9 or maybe 10 pickups to sell, because I'm pretty comfortable with what I've got. So that's the rest of my day is going to be that. And that sounds great as well. Go figure, it would. That sounds pretty good too. It's almost like you can't get a bad sound out of the Engl Savage. There's no bad sounds in here. There just isn't. And of course you've got that noise gate there. I haven't had it really active. Oh, maybe that was what was grabbing at me earlier. Gotta watch gates, guys. You always gotta watch noise gates that are built into plugins when you're using your own at the start of your chain. Always watch out for that. Turn off any other gates. Turn off any plugin gates. Get your own gate. Get your own noise gate and get your own silencer as well. Like, there are two different types of gates. Get one of each. As you guys know, and I always constantly show you guys, I have the denoiser here, and then just in case there's something extra popping through at some point when things get even noisier. Remember, these are analog circuits, and they're supposed to react in certain ways, and sometimes things get noisy. It almost killed my entire vibe of wanting to do content of any kind. And then finally, I found this guy here, right here, the denoiser from Bertom, and then I have this as well, just in case. So, this one is not free, it's by donation, and this one is free. It is the effector silencer. So always have some gates, and then I would say that if you get to know a couple of gates of your own, you won't need plug-in gates ever, so that you can just turn them off and get them out of the way, get them out of your way, and move along. All right, I'm going to try this boost now. Is this on or off? Oh, this is on now. Let's see. And again, I'm out of tune. It's okay. I don't mind. I've got all day here. I'm hoping to get some... I'm hoping to get a guitar painted today, guys. The Hesher. I got the electronics from EMG. Thank you so much to Tommy over at EMG. I really appreciate you. And my bass pickups that Tommy sent should be here tomorrow. I've got two neat projects that I'm going to be doing here, right here on the channel. And it's going to be fun. I'm always going to be putting new pickups and testing new pickups and tunings. And in this case, I'm going to be... I had a friend who kind of left me a early 90s Ibanez RG. And his... unfortunately, he was not able to... unfortunately, he was not able to finish the guitar himself. So I know exactly what he wanted to do with it. Kind of a bit of a project with me. He wanted it to be basically like a dirty thrash guitar, and that's what it's going to become. And I've got an EMG 81. I've got the 18 volt mod. I've got the PA2 coming, and it's going to be like a Slayer on wheels, E flat, absolute machine. Cannot wait to do it. And the bass is going to be a project of its own. I'm going to be doing a few bass streams this week. Gosh, those are tough on me because I'm not that good at bass. What am I trying out today? Corey Millen. Sorry that the chat's in and out. Corey Millen. I'm trying out Amp Room by Softube. Got a little off the rails there. Sorry, guys. And they also have, by the way, they also added a, if I'm not mistaken, they added a, where is it? Huh. They also added their neat, if you know that the Softube saturation plugin, that the free, if you don't have the Softube saturator free, go out and grab it. 100% worth having in your arsenal. It's really great. I also thought they had, call me crazy. Huh. I thought they had the little TCE clean, or I thought they had that little booster in here. I guess not. That's upsetting. Oh, there it is, the preamp. And we are going to replace this right here. We've got three kind of things here now rolling. And this is the integrated preamp. You guys have probably seen a few different developers cranking these up lately. These are sort of just magically falling into plugins. I think that you can find one of these old TC integrated preamps in a big old giant handful of plugins right now. And you can find one on its own for free as well from Aurora DSP. You can go grab that right now. I think it's free. At least it was free last time I looked. Maybe it's not free. I think it's free. And if you don't know how to use one, you wouldn't be any different than anybody else, really, because these are a bit of a different bird from a tube screamer. How I like to use them is I just sort of feel it out. That's how I constantly will use it, because for me, these things always depend on the pickups I'm using and the amp that I'm boosting. They're very touchy. It's not a set it and forget it. All right. So I'm going to feel things out a little bit as we go. And yeah, guys, I'm having a good time today. We're going to be here for probably another 60 minutes on this bad boy. Corey Millen, that's great to hear. Free stuff is amazing, and the denoiser is by donation, and God's cab is absolutely free. Why wouldn't you want possibly the best rectifier cab possibly? Not free or otherwise, free or paid. The God's cab from Wilkinson Audio might be one of the best captured Mesabuki cabinets in the history of impulse responses. That's my opinion. You can disagree with me if you want. That's perfectly okay. By the way, the stream the other day for Metalcore, we're going to redo that. I had a couple of things that were just going wrong in the environment here throughout the stream and throughout the day there that just like took the vibe from the stream from up here down to the toilet. And so that one is going to be redone somewhere down the road. We're not going to piggyback it right away and be like, yeah, take two, guys. We're going to do it down the road, and we're going to have somebody, maybe a guest for it or something like that. But we're not going to do it anytime real soon. That one, just call it the odd one that's just not going to work out. Yeah, good as anything free, guys. Anything free, get it. All right, let's play some more guitar. All right, let's turn this thing and let's dial it into perfection. That's good. And then I'm just going to be going between these pedals here for fun. And I heard this the other day and I can't unhear it. Not long ago anyways. Not the other day rather, but not long ago. I had a black metal guitar player that I was talking to in like not a crazy notable band, but a band whose albums I really enjoy anyways. I'm not going to plug them right now. But I had a guy in a band the other day talk to me about his tone. He said the key to his tone, and the key to every black metal tone, if more black metal guitar players knew about it, it would be the key to their tone. And his quote was that it would be and I agreed with this. He said that the Fortin grind could be to black metal what the HM2 is to Swedish death metal. And I like that. I really like that. He said that the Fortin grind pedal just provides something magnificent when it comes to black metal and stuff like that. So like the 33 is a bit of a different animal. It looks the same. It's from the same company. It is kind of just a modified grind, but what it does is a pinch different, right? So what happened to our tunes? What happened here? Oh boy. I don't know what happened here, guys. Oh, it's playing on my phone instead? What? Hold on, folks. I don't know what happened there. My phone just decided to steal my Spotify signal. Oh, I see what happened. I have one of my alarms set to is set to a song called "Fuck the Shit" by Butcher Brother. Oh my God, Sons of Butcher. Did it do it again? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, that was annoying. Anyways, Sons of Butcher, and then it just my phone just stole the signal from Spotify for that. And you can see, sorry, going back to the black metal conversation with the Fortin grind, I actually like that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use it. I just don't want to name drop just in case it's like somebody disagrees with it and it's just like, wow, this and that, and this band sucks and this guy sucks. I don't know, run it by him first maybe. I don't want him to use him, throw him right under the bus in case somebody disagrees. But I really do. I agree 100%. I think that I think that could be true. The Fortin grind just has that way of providing that eerie, That frequency. It's that, I call it that frequency. It enhances that, I don't know, it enhances the evil. What is my favorite guitar amp? My favorite amp sim? Like all time? Oof, bro. Like, ouch. That is a tough one to answer. For what? What are we talking about? My favorite all time? Like for anything? Oh, gosh. Way to put me on the spot. That sounds good too. Sounds fun. We're gonna go back to the Crunch 2 channel because I just want to working our way up the gain tree now. Wait. Why all of a sudden does that sound less powered? Sounds good though. So if I'm using a pedal like that, though, I'm going to want to go and dial some more low end into the amp. That's just what I'm for sure going to do that. I'm also going to bring back the high end of the top end of the amp so it doesn't get fizzy. That's it right there. Right there is perfect. Yeah, NAMM would not be my favorite. NAMM wouldn't be my favorite plugin. I really enjoy it. I think it's fantastic, and I'm really on board the NAMM fanboy bandwagon. I am firmly aboard. I have bought my not purchased, but I got my free ticket to the. I'm here. I'm living. I'm living with the rest of the fanboys on the bandwagon. Of course, there's that elitist We Heard It First crew that is up in the, they are up in first class. I am in business class on the NAMM bandwagon at this point. I have not earned my way up to first class, nor do I have the knowledge of NAMM and its everything else in the community to even, I couldn't pass the test at this point. I couldn't pass the test, but hopefully eventually I can be riding up there in first class on that bandwagon. I'm firmly on it, but it wouldn't be my favorite plugin all time. Tomas, how are you? I'm going to go ahead and, oh, geez, man, you are really, that is one of the toughest questions to ask is that, were we saying all time, the Swiss Army knife? Are we saying for metal? Are we saying clean, my all-time favorite for gain? There are different plugins, but if we're saying are we saying that, how I can kind of put that into perspective is if someone asks me what my favorite plugin is all time, the way I kind of address it in my head is if someone told me I'm going to give you this much money and you can only use one plugin for the next 5 years or the next calendar year, and you can only use one plugin. Down and down, pick down, and you can only use one plugin for the rest of for the next year to record everything, no matter what genre you're doing, bass or guitar, you can only use one plugin. That is kind of how I look at it. And if I had to choose, you're asking me a tough question. If I had to choose, I'm going to have to pick Line 6 Helix Native. That is just the ultimate all-in-one. My favorite all-time for metal is going to be the Fortin Nameless Suite. Probably Fortin Nameless Suite is going to be it's going to be in that top bunch. And if I'm talking middle of the road rock tones and everything else, I'm probably going to go with the Audiority Solidus VS 8100. So if I'm doing it off the top of my head. Wow, this sounds super good. Super good. Let's try this now. Oh, what is that? Why you do that to me? Okay, I'm gonna have to get used to this pedal. I know one thing, that the boost character 1 is not really for me. Not for rhythm, but for lead guitar, however. Sounds pretty good. A nice little cut to things. However, I'm going to go with something I'm a little bit more familiar with at the moment. Just while we test this out a little bit more. And I like what oh, come on now. I guess I should be showing you guys the Engl, right? Not the pedals. Whoa! Yeah! Lead, calm down. What's going on here? Calm down. Calm down. Oh, so heavy. It's just impossibly heavy. I'm gonna turn this off, go back to this for a sec. So heavy. Woo! Yeah, buddy. He's that. It's fucking great. This thing sounds just ripping. Yeah, buddy. Absolutely ripping. Did I ever download Crunchman? No, but I'm very familiar with Crunchman. Very familiar with Crunchman and all the Nalex stuff. I don't personally. I don't know how much like I need those plugins. But it's one of those things where Freeware Fridays, man, like you got to showcase the best stuff out there. And yeah, they've managed to. It's kind of tough to go get their stuff. You got to go through kind of their blog page and some other stuff. They should just make a page where it makes it way more like you don't have to go through like Russian stuff. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Russian stuff. Calm down. I'm not getting political on you. I'm just saying that when someone from North America goes to a website and sees a bunch of Russian language on a website, they're just going to be like, wait a second, should I download this? You know what I mean? Like if they're not these days, I mean, you got to be careful with your machine, right? So there's, by the way, no danger whatsoever to downloading the Nalex plugins. None. But I've had somebody that did say that before. And I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame you for showing up, downloading stuff, and then being like, oh, what's going on here? Bum, bum, bum. So yeah, having a good time here so far. So good. That is, yeah, that's a lot. I'm going to bring back the mids more. Yeah, the 80s kid is absolutely correct. Nice. Yeah, no, 80s kid's absolutely right. Nameless Suite and any plugin that has really been modeled to be as close to authentic, as close to one-to-one replica as possible, modeled from analog. You're going to find most of those plugins sound really good with an assortment of quality IRs and various cabinet plugins and so on and so forth. Also, another thing you get in here, if you have it, they've kind of redone some stuff in here. You have Load IR. I'm going to show it to you here. We're going to take Load IR and drag it over the big boy for a second. And over here, I can load up their IRs or my own. They also have I could have sworn that the speaker shaper is in here as well, is it not? Is the Celestion speaker shaper in here? I can't recall. I actually kind of thought it was, but I guess it's not. So we're going to try 1960B instead for now. For fun. Why not? That sounds pretty cool. Sounds ballsy. It's got some big fucking balls. I like it. And I like the Fortin 33 a lot more than I like the Fortin Grind. You're like, oh, bro, it's the same fucking pedal. Bro, it's not. It's not. Oh, boy. Remote's down. I just knocked something cat style off the corner of the desk here, and I'm now watching a battery roll all the way down the house. Get it, Sam? All right, it's done. Fantastic. So, yeah, I really do like the Fortin 33 versus the Grind. It's just they're different. They accent different frequencies to where I really like what the 33 does, and I don't like what the Grind does quite as much. But I find that for one knob boosts, really, it's going to be to the ear of the beholder. And if anybody tells you that all boost pedals, like all tube screamers, are the same, again, that's a false. It's false. It's absolute nonsense. Stop it. Stop lying. Don't do it. Yeah, if you jam the tone and the level all the way to the right, maybe you'll get that same overblown kind of thing. But really, be a little easier on your tube screamers and listen to them. Feel them out. It's depending on what pickups and which amps you're boosting. And I think you'll have better results as opposed to just using the old 0, 10, 10 method with every different tube screamer. It can also really help if you use medium output pickups like myself, and if you choose stuff that's not screaming high output pickups all the time. You might find some use in the drive knob on your tube screamers. I'm going to you honestly, adding 1 or 2 points of that drive knob can sometimes add a really nice little bit of extra saturated, cut or something going on before it hits the amp, just to do something a little bit more magical that could work out for you. So never be afraid to use your drive knob on anything. You don't see a lot of Hughes and Kettner type based plugins, and that's why. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. There are very, very few of them. Very few Hughes and Kettners out there. And I don't know why. I have suggested, I've had a couple developers, newer developers, come to me over the years and just kind of ask me for like what they call like a market analysis, and asking me what products, like, you know, what products out there haven't been done and what products have, and, you know, kind of what's in high demand. And I've actually put that name on the list a few different times for a few different developers, and unfortunately they're not the easiest amps to get your hands on, for starters. And they don't have that magical resale value that you get in some of the higher, you know, the higher demand items. I don't know how high demand the Hughes and Kettner stuff is right now. I'm really not sure. I think with more demand, you'll see more plugins. That's just as simple as it is. Also, if a particular repair shop in Nashville, Tennessee happens to get, that's an inside joke, folks. You might not get it, but if you're in the know, you know. If a particular amp repair shop in Nashville, Tennessee happens to get their hands on a Hughes and Kettner Triamp, we may see one in a particular plugin in one of the next months to come. You never know. But at this point, it's just one of those things where I've put it out there a number of different times. But the thing is, another thing that developers look at is are they going to buy the amp for modeling, or are they just going to trust a schematic? It really depends. That's the first thing. If they buy it, can they sell it quick for what they paid for it? And with Hughes and Kettner, it might be that some developers look at it and say, well, I don't really want to keep that amp. And you know, I haven't heard a lot of buzz on this amp, so I'm not going to put my full resources behind, you know, behind doing a plugin based on this amp either. So I think that is kind of how you might see it. You might view it. I don't know. There are some brands that it just doesn't make sense. And then all of a sudden you'll see a god dang landslide of them. I remember one year there was no orange anywhere all over nobody. The only orange amp sim on the entire market was the free Cypress TT15 from Black Rooster Audio. It's the only one available on the market. That was it. The only thing. And then all of a sudden people drew more attention to that, and that there was no representation from real representation from orange, a little bit in amplitude here and there, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden there's this big spike in orange. Same thing happened with Vox a few years, like I think it was the year before that, actually, the year before orange, it was Vox. People somehow realized, hey, there's not a lot of Vox going on out here. Pow. All of a sudden, boom, Vox. And that's the way she's gonna go, guys. So if Hughes and Kettner gets the nod from, you know, a big money endorser, you know, like a modern endorser, not just like, you know, Alex Lifeson. I'm not really sure who really stands behind the brand for H&K these days, but if you get if you get the kiddos interested in that brand, then you'll start getting more and more and more requests for it. That's kind of the way I look at it anyways. I don't know that they're complicated. I don't know that it's about that they're complicated to code. I don't know that that's the entirety of that scenario. Typically with an amp, if it's tough to code, you'll still see like attempts made on it. With a pedal, however, that's super hard to code, you'll just see it abandoned. Like the Hyperfuzz, the Boss Hyperfuzz, it doesn't have any representation because it's literally what I've been told to be the all-time nightmare of pedals to code. That was how it's been referred to me by 3 separate developers. They wanted to do one and then looked at what it would take looked at the schematic and said, holy fuck, no thank you. You can't make that work. You can't offset those resources. You can't offset that cost, right? So you've got to be thinking, if I'm going to put a lot of time towards this, is it going to sell? Is it going to be like, am I going to be first to this, you know, like kind of like Neural DSP did with the Mark IIc Plus suite. They were kind of first, and they did a great job, and they probably spent a really long fucking time perfecting that absolute masterpiece. You know what I mean? So if you're going to spend a lot of time, but at the time, the Mark IIc Plus was also like the top, you know, #1 most demanded amp across the entire industry. Everybody was just dying for one. And then eventually it was like, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do it big. Thermionic did the Mark II C Plus back in the day. They also did it quite well for the times, but you could tell that there was time put behind that, right? Yeah, Breaking Benjamin, using them when they first started out, not going to be enough, right? Like, it's not a classic. It's not a classic, you know. If it's not a classic, and it's, you know, you're going to see. It really depends on what developers can get their hands on. And it could be Thomas, could be correct. It could be a real pain in the ass to code part of that or capture part of the amp. Yeah, absolutely. It could be, for sure. But that's generally why things don't happen. All right, let's get back. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to be here for about another 45 minutes as we forgot our break, guys. That we're going so well today. We forgot our break. I'm going to do some more experimentation with Amp Room when I get back. Give me 2 or 3 minutes. Guys, this is cooking right now. This is cooking. That's why we're having a good time. We're going to keep up with this. We're going to go as long as we really feel comfortable. Words are hard. And man, I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here with me. And I look forward to the rest of the stream as well as future streams. All right, guys, give me exactly 2 or 3 minutes here. And we'll be back and we'll get into more Amp Room. Thank you so much for tuning in thus far. See you in a minute. Hell yes. Hell yes. Back here. Back with a new Coke, new outlook on life. Tiny bit more herbally enhanced look at the day. If you don't know what that is, I'm sorry for you. I'm just teasing. I'm sure at this point everybody knows what the jazz cabbage is all about. Nothing new. Not legalized in every country, though. Corey Millen, where are you from? I'd like to know where people are from. 80s kid, where are you from as well? I'd like to know. I know Thomas is from the Czech Republic. I am from Canada. Bo is from the United States, America. Edward, also from the United States of America. And then we've got all kinds of different other other folks around here as well. That sounds great. Oh, it sounds good. Gosh. Oh, that sounds pretty fucking tight. Bo, what? Why didn't I know that? At least not on my immediate on my immediate brain. Why didn't I know that you were Canadian? That makes you at least 50% more awesome. Gonna have to come up and live in, bring your family up to the land of free healthcare. What the hell? All right, guys. So we're into our second leg here. I feel like I've got a new outlook on life. I've got all the time in the world today, and this is a huge platform that we haven't even scratched the surface on. Scratch the surface. Da, 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 da. Oh gosh, I kind of wish. You know what I really wish? I wish we could do this with the staff in like a round table where we all had guitars and we sat around like a Pat McAfee type situation, and we all just sat around with just different things like that. I just wish we could do it like that. That would be absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable if we could do that. All right, so what's coming up here this weekend? Saturday, we have Chris from Wavemind here, and oh my gosh, Chris is gonna have some things to tell you. He's working on some things. I don't know how much of it Chris is going to have out there or not, but what I can tell you is that Wavemind, they've entered the market, and they're doing some really cool things. And guys, learn this company's name, because this company is going to be making some big moves and doing some cool shit over the next future. I love new developers with a great outlook, and quickly Wavemind has become a favorite of the page. So fantastic, and thanks so much to Chris for being around. All right, so as you guys may or may not know, we are working on a plugin. Aha! We are working on a plugin with oh my god, Wavemind, Mindwave. So I wanted to call them Mindwave there. All right, cool. We're gonna start with the 120 watt now, and why does it keep clicking? What is that? Why does it keep clicking on me? I don't know what that is. Why it's clicking on me, but it is. All right, let's see what we got here. So we are on the lead channel right now. Let's go to Crunch 2. Essentially, as Bo said earlier, this is the same amp. It's the same preamp with just half the power. But, and you might be thinking, this seems elaborate. Why not just put a switch on there? Why do it a whole another UI for another amp? Why not just put a switch on there that changes it to 60 watt? You could do that. You could do it, absolutely. That's way less cool though, right? Because it's pretty rad that you get two different looks at the amp, and really all they've changed, if you look at it, what's different? Basically, the only thing that's different, the only thing that's different is the color, I think. So it's probably just the same UI with different Tolex, really. And that's fine. That's cool. I like it. It's a different component, and like Bo said, it's just when you get to be what's the purpose of a 60 watt versus, like a 120 in a plug-in form? What is the purpose? You're going to find they sound different. You're going to find that they feel different if they're modified authentically and properly. And in this case, they are. So go out and try them. Make sure you get everything free trial that you can get your hands on if it's unrestricted. If it's not unrestricted, you have to ask yourself, how serious is the developer about competing in our current climate? You know what I mean? Unless their prices are really, really low to where like people just take a stab on the stuff regardless. But I mean, I just, at this point, unrestricted free trials, if they exist, download them, try them, put them to use, put them to work, Don't just download it and try it once and be like, okay, put it to work, sit there for a good few hours, put it to work in a mix, always have a couple of mixes kicking around. And this is this seems interesting to some people, not interesting to others. If you're not having a lot of time to create, but you really want to demo stuff and consistently get, hone your skills, put together a few mixes of DIs, really clean, well-played DIs, and, you know, a few mixes, 2-3 minute songs, and with multiple layers and parts, and doesn't have to have vocals, whatever, and put stuff to work. Even if you have 3 to 5 of those that you can constantly put to work with new plugins and new techniques and new things, it doesn't put the pressure on you to have to create. And right now, here and right now, it doesn't put the pressure on you to be like, I need to create a song so I can try this new free trial within 14 days. You can have a mix of DIs set out for you already that you can just be like, okay, I've got it. It's already blank. There's nothing on it. Save a bare naked version of it and then put those new plugins to work, put your new techniques to work, and then compare them with the other mixes and other stuff that you did with that exact same set of DIs, the same exact mix. That way you can really hear the benefit of certain techniques, not just listening to it in a different song and wondering how it applies. These things can come and be immediately available to your senses. You can hear them like this if you're putting them in, you know, that's an interesting version of the Inner Sandman. But if you're but don't feel pressure. That way you won't feel pressure to create when you download something new. Just a little bit of food for thought, folks. These are, I remember buying them now. I couldn't tell you. DT990 Pro from Bear Dynamic. And the only reason I bought them is because I did, like I always do, when it comes to something that's not amp sim related, that I don't immediately know an expert on. I will just go and research the best of those of what I'm looking for, and I will cross-reference as many different lists as I can, because some of them are going to be paid placement, some of it's not, some of it's going to be like fanboys that are just like love one and only really know one manufacturer or one developer. Just like amp sims, when you talk to people, you can tell when the conversation you're having is with somebody who is heavily loyal to one developer versus people that are very open-minded. Those conversations usually go very poorly for me, because I just think unless the developer is paying you money monthly or daily, why limit yourself to one developer is the dumbest thing you can do in the entirety of the amp sim world. I get you can be loyal and love a developer, but there are a lot out there at the very top echelon now. So going out and saying that this person is this and this company is the best and that company is the best. Softube, for example, has been around for a very long time. So, and there are a lot of people that do believe that Softube makes the best software for recording on this earth. Some people believe that. You don't have to believe that, but I'm saying some people out there believe it. Why? Well, because this company's been around for a very long time, longer than like Neural DSP and STL Tones, much longer than those companies. They have really, really entrenched themselves as a very high quality developer with a shitload of hard work and great plugins, great sales. So if Softube isn't on the top of your list, they should be. They really should be. And they, you know, consider putting them up there, try some stuff, and then tell me I'm wrong. And I remember when Neural DSP was doing the whole, like, when they do the whole thing, there's a lot of their fans. It's really strange to me. It's just sort of a very, very odd. You guys tell me, is this not weird? When this whole conversation is being had about, like, what's the next plugin? It's Silhouette time. And then you get these people that are, it's got to be a Marshall. It's got to be a licensed Marshall. And then you explain to these people, or many other people explain to these people, that that's just simply not possible because the brand is licensed to Softube. And if you'd like to experience premium Marshall amps, you'll have to go over to Softube and download them and purchase those products. They do exist, though. Just letting you know that high quality stuff for Marshall does exist. You can go download it right now. Nope. Want nothing to do with it unless it's from the one developer. It's very silly. It's very silly. Very, very, very silly. And if you ever see people like that, ask them how much they're getting paid. Because if you're not getting paid by a developer a good amount of money, there's no reason to limit yourself to one developer. That's simply the way she goes. All right, let's do some riffage. Man, that is such a phenomenal change. It sounds like a different amp between rough and smooth. Check that out. That is a different universe right there. Different universe. That's between... Now, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to bring my mids back a little bit more. That's woo, so big. Sounds good. It's crushing. Absolutely crushing. Now, I'm rolling the master volume. I never really tend to, when you're looking at metal, you're doing metal tones, I would not run the master power amp volume above like 4. Remember, gain staging is your friend, and with Engl amps, they give you multiple opportunities to make sure you're gain staging. You got to know... Oh gosh, guys, with pretty much any amp, you need to know how to gain stage when it comes to preamps and power amps and everything else. Especially in plug-in land, it gets to be even more important because you've got multiple components working, especially if you're using like an impulse response loader and pedals and boosts and so on. You really got to know exactly what you're doing. If you don't, you can make a mess and you're not going to get the full use out of your plugins in the first place. Let me read through the chat. Man, I love Decapitated. Holy shit, what a band. That's true. They do have that license with Slash. But I don't... They don't actually say Marshall, though. Do they? I don't think they actually boast the Marshall logo. I think those... Don't those just say Slash on the amps? Or IK Multimedia? I don't know. I think I remember such things. I don't want to fire up Amplitude right now because reasons. I don't feel like it's somebody tell me. But I will say that Amplitude has gotten much better, and I do appreciate their effort to make their technology even better. So let's check. Let's keep checking some tones out here. Oh, that sounds crushing. Absolutely crushing. Oh, I hit the mic. I touched the mic cable. Ah! The other thing you get inside Softube Amp Room is you get a whole ton of their other plugins that you might not notice. If you go here, you can see here you get compressors and you get a whole bunch of other stuff that normally you're going to be paying for, like delay, and they've got some verbs in here. Then you've got saturation and some other things that ordinarily you're probably going to pay for. Pardon me. This is a great song. And one pedal that I kind of decided not to check out today was the Governor. I'm not really sure. I'm still pretty sure I made the right calls for gain pedals up front. Now you can go ahead and add you can choose to add an EQ There's also a whole bunch of different stuff. As you guys notice, this is all the different stuff you can put in the chain prior to the amps. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that you can do, and do that right there and have it be pretty rad. It shows you the rig down here on the bottom, the full chain while you're editing. So back here, there's a lot. The post gear that you can add is also, there's a bunch of different stuff you can add. I think up to 3 or 4 components there. And then you have, you're able to EQ things on the way out, which gives you the opportunity to kind of build your whole signal chain, really. Although I don't know. Can you move this? No, you can't. I almost wouldn't mind the ability to put the EQ before the post effects, because then if you did that, you could kind of have a full signal chain. But right now, they're EQing after the post effects. And I just don't like to do that. I just don't feel you're ever going to really, if you're using a lot of like delay or verb, doing your EQ on a track where you've got like putting your EQ after your size and space effects is really tough. You're going to find EQing that is really tough. So typically those will go after your EQ. And guys, it's phenomenally important. And that's why I say often say that post effects sections in many suites, most suites, post effects sections are effectively useless. They're almost completely useless. And I think everyone is better off served getting a nice delay and a nice reverb plugin that they really can wrap their mind around, learn how to use it like the back of your hand, and then forget every post effects section that's even thrown at you in any suite. Forget they exist, because you need to put your EQ before the post effects section anyways. And these EQs typically that the suites will put in the chain, typically those EQs are just, your graphic EQs. They're not really meant to do high pass, low pass filters, which is mostly what you're going to need on your track anyway. So it's kind of gets a little bit complex. So in this case, it'd be cool to be able to make it a full signal chain and put the space effects. If I was able to drag them over here and put them after this, that would be pretty cool, because then all I would need is a limiter. I think there's no limiter here. So yeah, you would just need your own limiter and gate. I think there's probably a gate in here as well. That'd be fine. So do it that way. All right, back to the amp now. And we're pretty much, guys, this is like pretty huge sounding so far. Let's try for fun. Let's go to clean and let's build a clean channel really fast. And sounds pretty good so far. Snappy. Let's put some bright on that. Sounds pretty good so far. And we're going to scoop those out a little bit. Okay. And right here, I'm going to go and grab myself the new delay pedal. This is the I've gone cross-eyed again. Oh no. Sarimner? Oh boy. Sarimner stereo delay. Oh boy. Okay, let's see what it is. Okay, a little ping pong action there. A little fast. So I want to slow that back a little bit. There we go. And I kind of like the feedback. I kind of like the mix the way it is. Cool. Not bad. Could slow that up, and I see here there's some interesting free timing. What am I supposed to do here? Can I switch that? Can I... Hang on. Can I switch that on stereo? I can. Oh my goodness. You can... I like the ping pong thing because you can kind of set one to... see what this is all like. Wow, that's trippy. If you're listening to that, a ping pong delay that doesn't match in headphones. Oh boy. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's a lot to handle. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's actually kind of a lot to handle. One is going, but. The other one's going ding, 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 ding. That's really strange. I actually don't think I've ever done that before. And like just absolutely crossed my brain. It's just like my ears just tried to pull each other into the other direction. Try that next time you guys get a chance. Get a ping pong delay going. This one especially because you can set both sides of it and to whatever you want, and you can even like increase. You can set each side kind of independently. Very cool addition. I like this. What is the other addition? It is a delay pedal, low end comp. It's not. It's a low end comp. I don't. Oh, okay. So I probably want to put that at the start of the chain. Wait a minute. Does this low end comp mean? Wait, would the low end comp mean that it could be like an anti-sneap effect in a pedal? All right, we've got. Yeah. When you're recording, you play that. When you record it, hold on, that just about broke my brain as well. When you're recording, when you play back your recording, is it louder than when you're just monitoring your playing? I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that. Tell my opinion. The Savage or Plug-in Alliance or an Embrini Engl. Okay, let's get into that. I was gonna put them side by side, but I kind of wanted to do this just to be some fun with the amp room. And I think that was probably the best way to go. We're going to shoot these boys out inside some point. We're going to set them up similar, but you have to understand that they are different. Pardon me. We know that just by who's done these, both the plugins, we know factually with our brains and our experience that we use these and go, we know that both of them are going to, factually, both of them are going to be high quality. That's just the beginning and the end of it. I think a different model of Savage was used in the Brainworks Plugin Alliance inversion. The other thing is we have to remind that a phenomenally different IR situation there. There are no pedals involved, and it's really tough to call. I'm gonna have to use them back to back to really make a decision on it. I think they're both so far so good, super cool and fantastic. Absolutely love it. So let's see what this is all about. This is the Midgard Sorman. Wait a minute. Okay. So let me see. So this is basically just a compressor then that works on the low end. So that kind of sort of seems like it kind of could be like that Andy Sneap multi-band compression trick in a pedal. I'm gonna kind of tweak that before I'm gonna have to kind of play around with this before I get too crazy with demoing it. I'm gonna take that out of the chain for now because I want to do it justice, and I don't want to just toss it in there and just hope for the best. There's a boost. Oh, there's also an auto wah. Was this here before? Yeah, this was here before. I think, maybe not. If it's an auto wah, I want it to go at the front of the chain though. So which one are we saying goodbye to? Let's say goodbye to our tube screamer for now. And let's bring our... Why won't you go Why won't you go in there? All right, cool. Guitar. Let's see, we have some fun here. All right, that's cool. I like auto wahs, guys. I'm one of those people. Yeah, buddy. Wow, out. Oh, that's great. Just that little wop, 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 wop. Why do I find this so entertaining? Smooth. How do I get it to bwomp bwomp? That's less. That's more. I get it. I was trying to figure out the zero value. Huh. Whop. Wow, wow. Sounds cool. That's fun. Like it. It's fun. Is it something that you're going to use all the time? Well, I guess that depends on you, right? It's kind of an auto wah. I don't know. Like, auto wahs and envelope filters, you either like them or you don't like them. It just sort of is what it is. Like, it's like I said, you like them or you don't like them. Really. Well, yeah, exactly. This kind of gives you that feel of you're playing that. Only superstitious. I don't actually know the words. I'm really sorry for what just happened. I wish I could rewind my life 5 or 6 seconds and just hit the delete button. But here we are. Just gotta fucking roll with it, I guess. Suddenly I feel like I'm in a Home Depot commercial. Really? Not everyone gets the feeling, especially those of our era, to get the feeling of Home Depot commercial when they hear the plop, 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 plop. That used to be a thing when I was growing up and somebody mentioned something else. My friends and I would go, or something like that. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I'm having a good time today, guys. This is a blast. Amp Room is a blast. You guys are a blast. It's been great hanging out. We've had 5 people at least in here for most of the stream. People have been popping in and out. If you're in the chat and you just want to chat with us and myself or anyone in the staff, you guys have any requests, I would love to hear them. But this point, we're going to have to say, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go anywhere. We're going to use the Vildsint. Oh, let's do it. Let's get this. This is a bad motherfucker right here. It is. Holy smokes. This amp is legit one of the greatest heavy metal amps ever created. Ever. And it's stuck in here. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Softube, if you're watching this after the fact, cut me some slack. I'm not trying to like give you guys any shit about that or anything like that. But man, I get why we're doing. Oh, what? Why did I have 2 of those? I don't want one of. Yeah, that's better. Thank you. It's just one of those things where like, I get it. It's developers are trying to kind of condense what they do. And in this case, it's easier for them to condense things because it's very tedious to update plugins to when Mac just decides like out of the blue to be like, let's see if we can make software developers lives a living hell today and drop another update on them. And then all of a sudden, they've got to add an update to every one of their plugins to make it like Mac accessible. And oh my God, it's resources that are just resources that seem to be wasted. So this is why you see a lot of platforms being created now, like, you know, Amp Box, Amp Hub, Amp Locker, Amp Boom, Amp things like that. Okay, so what do we got going here? All right, I don't need any of these pedals going at all. I'm going to try it with a bit of a different cabinet, though. I'm going to go with a different blend that I know that I've tested with this bunch and go from there. If you guys have a particular cabinet section that you would like to see or hear or just look at, you let me know and we'll kind of go through it. I am at the moment, for whatever reason, I feel like I'm lacking a couple of different cabinets that I had prior, but I think I'm just scrolling too aggressively here. I'm looking for... We'll get to it, guys. We'll get there. I'm going to go with the German Viper on one side. And maybe a mug. And like I said, this is a very, very mid-focused amp. We're going to have to be careful here. Although, where are my cabinet sections? I lost it. Have I lost my mind? For some reason, I am lacking the Kerry King cabinet section in here, which is usually kind of a go-to for me. So give me a second here to find it, unless I am completely mistaken and out to lunch. Give me a second here, guys. I can't actually find it here for some strange, non-apparent reason. So it's going to be a no-go for me today, I guess. I don't know. Either way, let's do something else. BV. Ouch. That is kind of strange. Marshall Suite. Huh. But if you go to the Marshall Suite, just for a second here, folks. Oh, and it just... Ooh, I want to undo that. Do they have an undo, or do I just... Oh, yeah, they do. Great, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so let's just not worry about that for now. And I am just going to put something else in that spot for now. Strange. I just updated it, and I'm noticing a couple of things that are a little bit different. But that's not a big deal. We'll just kind of figure it out as we go. And nope, that's not what I wanted. Huh. How's it going there, Philippe? How are you? Now, I'm just noticing that my Kerry King cabinet section is nowhere to be found here, and it's a little puzzling. It's a little bit puzzling. But I'm not going to... I'm saying I'm not going to stress out too much about it, but I know I'm stressing out a little bit about it. But yeah, I cannot seem to find it. Either way, we are going to try something else in this spot. We're going to go with the 1960B, and then we're going to blend it a little bit here. That sounds monstrous already. Okay, so for you guys that have never seen the Vildsint before, this thing is insane. This is complete in-house creation, and it has a very unique, I'll call it a channel matrix that you can go through. Now, this is calm, and it sort of intersects here, guys. It's so calm. You have on this side, you have calm, fierce, and rage that go along here. And then you have high gain, intense gain, and clean on this side. Okay, so if I want, I'm going to go insane gain, but calm. Okay, and the gate can be a clamp if you want it to be, but we don't need that to be so right at this exact second. So we're going to set it up. Now it sounds crushing. Let's get some of the mid features up a bit. And it's, again, we can just keep cranking things up here. Let's get a boost in the mix. Monstrous. Huge tone, gigantic tone. And wow, that's a lot. So again, we'll go back down to high gain and calm. Clean and calm. Nice clean tone too. Not an afterthought. Nice clean tone. Then you start going up the other way. Fierce. We'll go fierce, and yet, here's where we at. So fierce is going to cross with high gain, I guess. No, sorry. This is fierce and clean. And then you get fierce, you get rage and clean. Okay, so then you keep going up, and you can go high gain and fierce. Nice cut to it. And you can do all kinds of different things with this inside it. Crank up the depth a little bit if I want. I've got the master a bit high right now for my taste, so I'm going to bring that back. Do it this way instead. So that's high gain. Then we get rage and high gain. Moving on. We got insane gain and fierce. Now you guys are going to like this one. So you guys have heard it, essentially. High gain and fierce, and it kind of shows you in the matrix, and it points to what exactly the powers that you're harnessing. It kind of shows you what you're connecting with the line here, which is pretty sick. Very, very simple to set up as well for you out there, folks out there that don't really necessarily, you kind of want that savage. You want that savage, but you don't want all the dialing. You just want something that's like, listen, I just want to set it and forget it. This is more of a set it and forget it, and then you can just kind of choose your poison over here in the channel matrix. And you guys saying it. I done. You guys saw it just now that I pretty much left it alone and didn't really do a whole lot with the control panel as I was going through all of those various channels, and just kind of worked out in the long run. What is it based on? Absolutely nothing. It's not based on a damn thing. This thing is based on an in-house design, designed by Softube, and I think they nailed it with this. However, I think that this thing is sort of hidden, and I think if they decided, hey, maybe we should do another piece of freeware, for example, not freeware, but like we want to do another standalone plugin. The Vildsint, I think, would do really well as a standalone, but I know what they're doing. They want kind of people to kind of buy into this, which is great. Now, here's the other thing. If with this metal pack, you also get this thing right here, and I'm obviously not gonna play it right now because it's bass, and I'm not set up. But the second that I get, I do another bass stream, this thing is sick. Maybe one of the coolest bass solutions, all-in-one bass solutions. It definitely has like a dark glass vibe to it at times. I'm not gonna lie, there is kind of a dark glassy kind of feel to the entire thing. But I think that anyone that really likes playing modern bass or likes distorted bass of any kind, this is where you parked your car. Give it a shot. They also had a couple of other things that came out with it. The Cardinal came out, I think, at the same time here. This is a Cardinal, and then this is good for guitar or bass, although it is meant for, typically meant for bass. I found it really cool for creating doom metal inside here with some of the other stuff. So yeah, we are definitely going to be doing something really, really sick with Softube in the future. Hopefully we can do more. Thank you so much to Softube for supporting me and my teams in various levels of things that I've done over the years. It's very much appreciated. And I know we're getting started. We're getting started from scratch here, folks. And I really can't thank you guys enough for all your comments, all the time spent in the comment sections in our streams, and all the support we've received so far has just been, man, it makes me want to hug each and every one of you guys, or at least give you guys one of these, like, you know, virtual hugs or virtual bones or bumpets or whatever you guys, whatever your comfort level is. Not everyone's a hugger, and I'm not a hugger, but I'll hug all you guys. It's been a wonderful couple of hours spent here so far. What am I thinking? If you like Engl amps, this is a must. If you're an Engl amp lover, it's a must, absolutely. If you already own some stuff in Softube, this is also should be a must. If you're into, man, like, just go out and try it. Test it out for a couple weeks and see what you guys think of it. And see what you guys think of the Vildsint as well, because that is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's like it's a hidden gem, hidden weapon, and I'm going to go over it more in another stream. For sure, but today was definitely more about going over the Engl stuff. The cabinets are awesome. The new pedals they added are fun, super fun to play around with. Thank you so much for these gear drops. Man, these are awesome. We do appreciate it. The metal suite, so I cannot check. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, the trials run out. Dang. And you didn't get a chance to try it? Oh, that's such a bummer, dude. I feel for you on that one. I do. I did the same thing with a couple of, with a few Neural DSP plugins. I tried them out and used them in a stream and then just kind of forgot about them. And then I went back to use the Morgan suite the other day and I'm like, oh, I got to buy it. Son of a bitch. You know, like, but yeah. And anyway, yeah, I absolutely love Amp Room, and I cannot explain how relieved I was that they fixed the glitch. There was glitches in this, major glitches that would just like crash your DAW probably 4 out of 5 times. Every time I would try to use Amp Room, it would just crash it. I thought it was maybe my old machine and not being powerful enough and to really do it, but man, I got the new machine. It was still some issues with how it was opening and closing and everything else, and it was crashing. And then they went and did a big ass update and just really brought it all together, and it is awesome. The UIs are great, the sounds are great, everything else is great, and they're only going to make it more and more great with more and more gear drops. So far, they've been doing one per year for this, which is still pretty cool. But I mean, I can think of, you know, a couple of other ones. They have a lot on the go, though. That's the thing, is like it's not a gigantic company. If you guys go and look, like the bulk of their time and their resources are spent probably a little bit more smartly than Amp Sims, I'll be honest with you. And they do a lot of creative plugins, signal processing plugins and such that can be used by everyone, guitar players, piano players, vocalists, anyone really can use these plugins in their mixes. So most of their catalog, we'll call it, most of their selection is you know, mostly creative and signal processing and mixing tools. But guys, and I'm not saying it's a small company by any means. They are a large company. But I just mean, what I mean by that is, like, they don't have 19 teams of coders working on, you know, 19 projects at once. So you know, it's rad that they do more guitar stuff and bass stuff fairly often. This year it was a drop of Engl gear. Hopefully we get one more drop this year. And I mean, gosh, it's such a nice platform, and it would be I think it would be smart for Softube anyways to do like maybe a gear drop every 6 months, as opposed to once a year, just so that you're keeping the platform, more current in the eyes of your, of the amp sim user. That's just my own personal thoughts, though. I mean, I'm just one person, and you guys, we all have different feelings, right? Yeah, absolutely. Especially Philippe, if you mentioned that you're a content creator and you just wanted to create a piece of content with the Vildsint for YouTube, and that you're not asking for a free license, you're just asking nice enough, would you guys mind resetting my trials so that I can make some content that promotes your product? Most of the time, I've had developers tell me no, and I've had developers tell me yes. So the worst they can say is, no, sorry, we can't do that. That's a pain in the ass, or it's against our, user policy, blah, 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 whatever. They might shoot you down, but worst case scenario, they know you're interested and they know you're doing content. So next time you ask for something, maybe they'll check your content out and more and more. It's just some companies are tough to get through to. I could also give you the right person to contact as well on that in a matter like that. Maybe we'll see what can happen there. Yeah. Okay, 80s kid on the Vildsint. I don't know about almost anything. Anything modern, probably. Even when you get to the lower gain channels and you like the comm channels, for example, the comm channels sort of just feel like you're holding a pillow over like a steroid monster. Like, quiet, sweet prince. And it's like, oh, hold me back, I'm not saying you should go and hold a pillow. That could be really hazardous for your health, doing that to somebody, especially someone like a steroid monster. Don't hold a pillow on anyone. Anyways, off topic. Yeah. I just feel like those channels, that's what it's kind of like. You're just holding them back. And then it could, in the mid channels, it's very modern still, though. It's a very modern gainy amp. It's kind of always set to kill, but like they're just different weapons that might wield to kill. It's kind of, even on clean channel, you get the feeling it just wants to go and start slicing and dicing. But so I would say the clean and calm right up the middle there, very useful, but the other ones on the clean side, not quite as useful as the clean tone. Everything else though, yeah, it can do a ton of gain or a ton of gain. I found that when quad tracking with it and I was using the insane gains, it just started to fall over itself a little bit. It was just too much. So yeah, you're living in the middle there somewhere when you're mixing and you're using quad track, or you're trying to quad track or dual tracking. I was able to make the dual rhythm track. I was able to make it work out pretty good with the like even the insane gain. But you just got to be careful, and you might want to put that sneak trick to work where you're trying to nail down the oomph and take the oomph out. Gosh, I miss having a plugin that could do that. I don't have a good multi-band compressor right now. I should probably find one. ASAP. All right. Cool, man. And I mean, we all have commitments, right? I mean, I've just had the luxury of being off work this week and able to do streamity mix stream if I want. Sorry again, I said I was going to do 10 days straight and I missed yesterday. That was me, a big old fail. But at the same time, we got a sick animal that just needed, when your pet just needs you to sit beside it, and if it's sick or anything like that, it just seemed like he was having a day where he just wanted his owner to sit parked right beside him, and while he rested on the couch. And that's what I did yesterday. I worked on guitars on here. I got some chores done. I got a bunch of house stuff done, and I just parked my ass beside him and hung out with him while he wasn't feeling so hot. So I don't know. Maybe it's a cheesy pet owner thing to do, but that's just sort of what we got to do from time to time, just as you would do with your children. As we don't have them around this house, we have fuzzballs, so this is what we got to do. So yeah, I look forward to streaming with you guys again tomorrow. However, I am going to be on here at some point tomorrow. And man, this was a banger of a stream today. I had a great time. It's an absolute legendary time today with the Engl stuff. And we didn't even really get to the cabinets quite as much. Got to all the pedals. We got to a couple of the cabs. Sounded really good. 3 of the cabs, in fact, sounded really good. And we'll get to it again in another one. I will be doing a pre-recorded video with this one pretty much right away. I'm going to try to get to it. It's been tough for me lately to really think about which products I need to do pre-recorded content for, because a lot of the products I'm still going to be doing reviews on old products as to how they hold up to today's standards. I'm going to do a Fortin Nameless Suite, for example. Been a while since anybody did a review on that, I would imagine, right? So we're going to do a bunch of old products, but to find out where we need to start, recommend stuff in the comments and streams, guys. I've got about 10 of them that are racked up now that are just needing the finishing touches. And after that, guys, it's kind of open. So throw things at me, and it's 10 to 20 minutes. I go, left to right in the plugin. I do a quick mix, 45 seconds roughly for the mix. We talk about it. We talk about the history of the gear that it's based on, and it reads something similar to my old reviews over on Honest Sim Reviews. If you were back in those days, if you remember the old website and liked those reviews, you'll kind of like these reviews just as much. Absolutely, man. These pets are a member of our family, and he's been through the worst. He's got pancreatitis, and he's still touch and go, guys. Still not 100% sure he's going to make it through it. We're still not 100% sure. So we're still hoping for the best here. The signs are looking up, and he's kind of slowly trying to get himself back together. And he's only 9, so he's not ancient. He's not 15, 16, 17 years old. And he means he's young, and he's resourceful. He's beaten pancreatitis once. So we're hoping that he's going to beat it again here, and things looking better all the time. So thanks so much for that support out there, guys. I know most of you guys are probably pet owners as well. So at the end of the day here, my score, my first impression of the Engl stuff is quite good, as you guys were watching. Quite good on the up and up. We really as a group here, these came out today, and a few of us were chugging through this, and so far the group theory, the group vibe is this is Engl good. And Engl Mark, we're calling it, what is the Engl Mark? What is it now? Hold on. Engl Savage Mark II Suite. So this is the Engl Savage Mark II Suite, and it is a plus 10 out of 10 first impressions. Really liked it. And if you've never played around with a Savage before, give it time. Give yourself a lot of lead time to really sit down with it and play around with how everything works, the channels you want to, if you've never put hands on an Engl Savage or any kind of Engl or any amp that's got a lot of different tonal shaping options, this is one that you're going to want to sit down and just focus and tweak it. Play, tweak. Even just, throw a few DIs in there and twist and turn just so you don't have a guitar in your hand. Twist, turn, figure out how everything works. Get a tone dialed in, then grab a guitar and go to work. That's another way to do it. I always have DIs for when I first get a plugin so I can figure out how things work on the fly and with a low lead time, low learning curve, not going back and forth mouse to guitar too much. And so I always suggest that is kind of a fun way to do it as well. So my way of looking at this one is that I really like it. Superb is a fun amp, super versatile amp. Lots going on. The 60 watt and the 100 watt. You might be thinking, what's the difference? There are definitely tonal differences between the two. You will notice them right off the bat. You could just trust me on that one. And if you can't, well, I don't know what to tell you on that one. Yeah, we decided that after 15, it's kind of the way to go with cats, is that after 15, anything super serious that they encounter, there's less and less likelihood they're going to bounce back from. And so, I mean, I learned my lesson one time by spending about $2,500 on a third, well, he was 13, 14, just over 14 years old. And I learned my lesson. Like they did the surgery. The surgery was good. Everything worked out, and then he just did not recover, and sadly passed away. It's tough to talk about, but yeah. But nonetheless, this little guy, he's 9, and he's a fighter. He's also what we call not the brightest bulb in the tree. So, you know, people like that sometimes tend to be the hardest fighters. And he is a real tough cat. As far as just, you know, it's not like he's outdoor and he fights outside or anything. Like he's just he's a resource, or what we would call it, a resilient. His resilience is great. So thanks so much for the awesome comments and comments of support on that. I'm going to go and hang out with some more right now while I fix up the wiring mistake that I fucked up yesterday in the guitar I was going to use in the stream today, which was this Rumblebee back here. But in any event, it should be a good time. Also, just for fun, I'm going to be putting some pickups up at some point with a couple of folks. So if you guys are interested in finding our reverb page, let me know, and I can give you guys a link. Just message the page. I'm not going to put it out there though. That's pretty cheesy. So, but if you're interested in the large pickup apocalypse, let me know via our Facebook chat in the message there, and yeah, I'll point you guys in the right direction. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I will be seeing you guys. My challenge for you today is to go over to Softube and download all the freeware that they have available, which has recently added a really nice compressor. I'm going to try it out in another stream on something random. It's a nice compressor. It looks like it's going to be some fun for free. Saturator, also free. Also go check out Celestian Speaker Shaper. That thing is pretty cool too. And I also thought that was at one point available in Amp Room, but I think I'm mistaken now. So, everything being said, Amp Room is 100% worth your time. That's my challenge. Go out and demo some of the stuff in Amp Room. Demo the Softube Marshalls. Demo the Softube Engl. And let us know what you think the next time we crack open Amp Room in a live stream, which will probably be again this week. All right, guys, I'm probably going to be doing a Marshall apocalypse tomorrow. So if you guys are into Marshalls and you want to come and see some Marshalls, Marshall, come on, check us out. We're going to be down here checking out some Marshalls. That's going to be fun. That'll be about 2 hours of Marshalls tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. And you guys can let me know, what's your favorite Marshall plugin? We'll talk about it in the stream. I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.